The Confidence Coach with Wendy J. Holloway. Being confident means knowing who you really are, what you want, and how to get it. Join Wendy J. as she explores all things confidence, from fearful to fearless.
I had the opportunity to sit down with Simon Chen. He's the founder of the Paradise Seekers Collective for coaches, health and wellness practitioners, and entrepreneurs and sales reps to create and thrive with their own health and sustainability-based businesses. Simon is also a water quality specialist with Enagic, providing non-toxic, antioxidant-rich, and purified Kangen water for drinking, bathing, and over 100 other uses to create a healthier, more sustainable lifestyle, which I'm all about. So if clean water is a priority for you and you're actively looking for an alternative to using your tap and shower water, feel free to connect with him on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or Instagram. I have his contact information below. Let's dive into connecting with Simon and talking a little bit about water and other things, health and wellness.
Let's talk about Kangen water. If you're looking for hydrogen water, if you're looking for the ionized water, that's what the machine would be used for. Like the machine itself will get rid of chlorine, and it does a very good job at doing that, and other ions in the water.
Yeah, it's important to not just have those things removed, but also to make my water be alive, because that's what enlivens my own cells, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love this. What got you into this industry of water filtration, of hydrogen water, ionized water? What brought you into this field?
You know, I've always had, I wouldn't say I was always passionate about water, but I would definitely notice if I drank it and it tasted nasty. I visited my sister in Florida once, and it was by far the worst water I'd ever tried. Like she had a filter, and I assumed that at that point, like, you know, she had a good filter, but when you drank it, it still tasted like chemicals. And I was like, this alone would be a deal breaker for me moving anywhere. I can't live somewhere that just has crappy water. But at that point, I wasn't really thinking about working in the water industry. It kind of just like fell on my lap a little bit. I clicked on an ad from one of my mentors that I'm working with. He helped to introduce to me why tap water is so toxic and why it's so important for us to care about the types of water that we're putting in our bodies, right? We're 70% water. You know, it has a bigger impact on our health than the food that we eat. So, you know, if you're doing all this exercise, you're eating right, you're sleeping right, you know, you're doing these detox protocols, but you're not changing out your water, then to me, like, it's not surprising if you're still feeling low energy, if you're still experiencing some illness symptoms, because it's like all this other toxic shit that you're putting in your body will still have an impact. That's something that I've really, you know, come to learn about and share the vision for, which is most people don't have good drinking water. Most people don't have good bathing water. And we assume, you know, we both live in Canada, so a lot of us kind of assume that we just have the best drinking water in the world. And even if that's true, it doesn't mean that it's actually healthy. There's still a lot that goes in the water that we just don't know about, and we only know about if we actually do our research.
That's right. If you think about 70% of the cells in your body,
more like 70% of our body volume is water.
That's a better way of depicting it.
Yeah.
But when you think that way, and you think that there is all this crap in your body that you're carrying around with you, no wonder we feel tired. No wonder we get disease. No wonder. And then in my healing, you know, part of the interesting thing is I've had migraines for so many years, like debilitating migraines. And I've learned that having balanced electrolytes is what helps my body to stay healthy and migraine free. So like water is the biggest part of learning how to heal myself. What do you wish people knew about the water that they're drinking? Like if you could teach the whole world this one thing, what do you wish you could let everyone know?
That it's more important than everything else. And I truly, truly believe that. There are a lot of different topics that we don't get taught in school, that we don't get taught by our teachers and our peers and our friends and, our modern education system. And water really is the foundation of life, right? Without water, we don't have anything. Like literally, we have nada. And so it's like, why wouldn't you make this a priority? A lot of people watching will be familiar with Dr. Emoto. He did studies on the way our words and our actions and our thoughts impact water, right? So he did a test with 2 glasses of water, one of which he expressed very positive thoughts towards. He would say things like, I love you, you're amazing, you're beautiful, and just sending good energy to that bottle of water. Looked at it under a microscope and saw that it was very crystalline, it was very structured. With the other glass of water, he would send a lot of negative thoughts towards it, like, I hate you, you're evil, you're disgusting, and sending a lot of negative energy towards that glass of water. When he looked at it under a microscope, it was completely chaotic, it was completely disordered. And so when we as human beings, speak to each other or even speak to other animals or plants, like, we're all made out of water. What kind of impact do you think it makes when we give positive energy or negative energy to those, to other beings, right? We are water. We just don't think we are. We think that we're like just this massive clump of cells that behaves randomly. Like, no, we are so much more than that. And once you try the water, once you drink the water, a lot of people report that they just can't go back to the tap water because it's water that makes them feel alive, like you said. Not just like the taste, maybe like the chemicals that are in it, but the voltage that the machine puts into the water helps to realign your whole body and helps to, make you feel solid again. So it's something that we just need to be looking into more.
It's so interesting. I don't have enough of a scientific knowledge, but the idea with earthing and grounding, I'm wondering if it's very similar to ionizing water, so that it's the frequency of what the earth is at, what we were intended to be at. Yeah.
That's something that I only recently learned as well. The earth's natural voltage is negative 20 millivolts. And, what are the chances that our human cells natural voltage negative 20 millivolts? This is why it's so important to ground every now and then so that you like reset your body back to its default state. But most of us, we're wearing these like heavy rubber shoes. We don't go outside. We avoid exposure to nature and, and sunlight. And so it's just like, well, of course, if you're spending all of your time indoors, then you're not getting the health benefits that they offer.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, I get so excited talking about health and wellness.
Don't we all?
So fun. Anything else you want to make sure that I put into this information about you? I want to have some links so that people can connect with you to learn more about Kangen Water. What else would you like them to know before we close off this segment?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time people look into Kangen Water and they look at the machines and think like, this is a big expense. I can't afford this right now. To that, what I would say is, you're already spending a lot of money on these different products like bottled water, on hygiene products, body products, sanitary products, cleaning products for both, yourself and your environment. A lot of people are spending like $100, $200, $300 a month. If that's you, you can already start saving money by just getting on a monthly payment plan and not having to spend all this money on products that are also not necessarily good for you, that have a lot of chemicals that haven't necessarily been approved, right? Maybe they are FDA approved, but the FDA approves a lot of substances that aren't good for us. But with the water, that's all that is, right? With all these different settings that the machine produces, you can replace all of these products that you're buying from the store.
Can
So
you
if you
list
think,
off a whole bunch of products that just come to mind right now?
yeah, absolutely. So bottled water is the big one. So you're not going to be spending however much you currently are in bottled water. Makeup remover, face soap, hand soap, shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, most hygiene products that you can think of, deodorant as well. Any cleaning products as well. So like oven cleaner, sink cleaner, like glass and surface cleaner, all can be replaced by different settings that the machine has. Most people probably don't know that when you wash your fruits and veggies with tap water, those pesticides don't actually come off. Those pesticides, they're oil based because, farmers don't want them to wash away in the rain. The problem is, when they get packaged for you to eat them, you're then consuming those pesticides. But with the ultra alkaline setting on the machine, there's a test that I like to do, and it's called the cherry tomatoes test. I'll pour tap water into a cup with cherry tomatoes and pour the ultra alkaline water into a cup with the cherry tomatoes. With the tap water, the water stays completely clear because it doesn't do anything. With the ultra alkaline water, the water turns like this murky yellow. And then I take the cherry tomatoes out and I like present the glass to people, be like, would you drink this? Everybody says I wouldn't drink this, but that's what you're consuming every time you just eat veggies, whether you wash them in tap water or not.
That's so gross. That's so gross.
So it's like, even if, you're not, even if you're not able to save a lot of money with the products that most people are spending money on, it's like, can you put a price on health, right? Can you put a price on wellness and longevity? And I actually talked to a Kangen distributor the other day. He said a lot of his customers are people that really can't afford to buy much because they're the ones that are so prone to massive health bills, and they're the ones that are prone to having to live unhealthy lifestyles, right? Because, when you're poor, you have to buy in bulk and all of this stuff. So it's like, those are the ones that see this as an important investment. So it's like, if this is something that you look at and like maybe you bulk at the cost, there are ways that we can help you out.
That's so good. I love it. And this also replaces a lot of household cleaners.
Correct. Yeah. So like laundry detergent, dish detergent, when you're washing dishes, you can clean your dishes with the ultra alkaline water as well. That gets rid of the oil too. And the ultra acidic water is good for stain removers and disinfectants. So any soaps, any sanitizers that you use can all be replaced instead with the ultra acidic water, which again is just water, so it's not toxic.
You could put that in your carpet cleaner then too?
I've used it before. Like, I have dogs, they work even better than any other like rug cleaner I've ever used.
That is so cool. I love it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so excited to share this information because
yeah,
I love when we can take control of our own health. We don't have to wait for the government to change our water or for higher ups to do something about it. We have power. Exactly. And that's why I always, whenever I see people that say, we have to vote for this person, we have to vote for this other person, we have to support this campaign, it's like, what realistically, how much are they actually going to change your lives, right? They might change a few things here and there, but the premise is still false, right? You are free, you are healthy, you are all these things if you believe inside that you are, and if you decide to take action on that. If you're waiting for, some bureaucrat to change that for you, it's just never going to happen. I love that. I actually created this guided visualization called Vote for Your Heaven on Earth. And how we vote for heaven on earth is where we spend our money, where we focus our attention. It has nothing to do with casting a ballot on election day. It's about what we choose to do with our time, our energy, our attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Every action you take is a vote for who you want to become, right? vote with your money, vote with your time, right? Don't just
Yes.
wait every like however many years and then think that that's the only time you can make a change. Oftentimes, you vote at the ballot box, things stay completely stagnant and you wonder why. And it's because, well, a lot of these people in power, they have the same or very similar agendas. And so to me, it's just very fruitless to try and rely on these people when you have the power. And that's what I want to empower everybody to believe is like, you are so much more powerful than you're led to believe. You just have to tap into the source energy, but like have faith, really like believe in yourself, and so many people don't. And it's like, you just don't know what your potential is.
I so agree with you. This is so perfect. Yeah. I use this to segue into what I do because
perfect.
You're dancing on all the exciting things that I do when you're I market myself as the confidence coach for you. Mm-hmm. And why I do that is because I never used to trust myself. I never used to know my own power. I used to think that I was waiting for someone else to give me permission or validate me. And I was always waiting, and I kind of, in the process of putting everyone else first, forgot who I was. So those are my ideal clients to work with. I've designed a program called Fearful to Fearless. In that 9 weeks, what I do is I empower people to remember who they really are, what they actually want for themselves, not what other people expect or other people put on them, but what they want. And we kind of like your Kangen water, we aliven, the parts of themselves that makes them glad to be here. I call it creating heaven on earth because your own version. There isn't one heaven for everybody to live in. We are all so uniquely different that I want everyone to be empowered, like you were saying, to create their own version of what they want, to remember their own power, putting their effort, their time, all of their money into the things that make them feel happy and alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have kind of coachy tricks to bring it out of people. And we do all of these personality quizzes each week. Now, I've designed this for women. I still think I could probably do this with men, but so far I've been working with women on this program.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with, like niching down towards a certain audience, right? Like if you vibe best with women, amazing, right? If you feel like you want to do this with men as well, like there's no problem with that. But I don't think it's a problem whatsoever to be like, you are my ideal client and I want to work with you, right? I think that's a very good practice in marketing. But no, I absolutely agree with you. Like, create your own reality, right? Don't have a victim mentality, have a victor mentality. You can go and create whatever the hell it is that you want to create. It's just so many people, they let life happen to them instead of let life happen for them, or being proactive about like changing their own life, right? They're just like, oh, well, I guess, this bill came in, so I guess I have to pay this expense, instead of like, yes, like pay your bills and pay your taxes, obviously, but like set aside some money to invest in yourself, like invest in some coaching, invest in like activities that you love, like do all of this stuff. Pay yourself first, as Robert Kiyosaki says, so that by the time you've paid all your bills, you're not like, oh, well, I have nothing left.
Right.
You never have nothing left. You just don't make money for stuff. You don't make time for stuff as well. Learn to really, really get into the feeling of what it is you want to be seeing in your life. And I think that, you'd be the perfect person to help them actualize that.
Thank you. Yeah. And I love it. Even if someone isn't like, this is probably not a program for you, Simon, but if you know someone, I love also sharing. I pay a 25% referral to my referral partners because I love working together and helping to build each other up. That feels so good to me. That's the heaven on earth I want to vote for.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to share share your program with other people I know, because I think like so many people need what you're offering.
Too. I used to second guess myself and argue in my head all
Mhm.
the time, and it's
Mhm.
exhausting. So then
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have faith or trust in yourself, and it's really, yeah, it's really not a fun way to live. I was
Mhm.
always looking to other people to be the expert for me, like doctors, lawyers.
Mhm.
I just didn't trust my own self to know what I needed for me, because I'm different from everyone else. There's no one else exactly like me, right?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And yeah, like it's not a bad thing to be able to rely on other experts for certain topics, but
Right.
the important thing is that you have confidence in yourself so that you're not needing to always feel like you're depending on other people. And
That's
that's
right.
and that's the thing that I want to empower people to do as well, is like um coach them to the point where they see it as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, because I like the word sovereignty. I remember the first
Mhm.
time that I really heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And agency and autonomy, so that yes, I can still go to the doctor or the lawyer or whoever is the expert, the
Yeah.
Kangen Water guy, and then I can like check in with myself to see what aligns for me. Because the truth is, we're all going to find our own combination for what
Mhm.
we need for our best life. It's not going to look the
Mhm.
same for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Well, thank you for doing this with me today, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Wendy, for having me. It's my pleasure, and I would love to have you as a guest because I just love your energy, and I think a lot of people would
Thank
love
you.
to know
Yeah.
who you are.
I would absolutely love to. Congratulations to you on all this work.
Likewise to you,
It's
Wendy.
so,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.